Are your sales teams just spinning their wheels, but not really hitting those revenue goals? You know? It's a problem. It's a common problem, and I think it really comes down to productivity.
Right.
So today we're going to do a deep dive into the Sales Experts Playbook for boosting sales productivity.
Okay.
And we've got 7 powerful strategies to help you and your sales team work smarter, not harder.
You know, what's fascinating about the sales experts approach is that, they don't just focus on those quick fixes.
Yeah.
They really look at this more holistic approach, right?
Yeah.
Recognizing that sales success is a combination of factors.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit.
Sure.
The first strategy that they highlight is tech is your ally.
Right.
And they make a great point about using technology strategically.
Yeah.
They specifically mention things like CRM systems,
Of course.
LinkedIn for networking, and even the power of AI analytics to predict customer behavior.
Oh, yeah. It's incredible how AI is transforming the sales landscape these days. In fact, the sales experts even talk about using ChatGPT to help with marketing and even creating those initial sales plans.
Wow.
They see AI as a game changer, for streamlining processes, freeing up your team to, focus on those high-value activities like relationship building, strategic deal-making.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder, are we really leveraging all the tools at our disposal?
Right.
I know I've been guilty of sticking to the familiar methods instead of kind of exploring some of these new technologies. What about you? Have you experimented with some of these AI tools in your sales processes?
Absolutely, and the results have been pretty impressive.
Yeah.
For example, we've seen significant improvements in lead qualification and forecasting accuracy since we've been integrating AI-powered analytics. It's really like having a virtual assistant that's crunching all that data and providing actionable insights.
That's a fantastic point. It's not just about adopting technology for technology's sake. It's about using it to gain a competitive edge and drive tangible results.
Exactly.
And speaking of efficiency, the sales experts also emphasize the importance of time management, right?
Yeah.
As a key driver of sales productivity.
Right. And they offer this compelling analogy. Treat your time like currency.
Oh, interesting.
Are you investing it wisely in activities that yield the highest returns?
Yeah.
And that resonated with me because it shifts the focus from simply being busy to being strategic about how we allocate our time.
Absolutely. And they provide some really practical tips, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like using time blocking.
Right.
To dedicate specific chunks of time to high-value tasks.
Mm-hmm.
And really avoiding that productivity killer, multitasking.
Oh, multitasking, the worst. Yeah. They even advocate for a touch-it-once philosophy.
Okay.
Make a decision, take action immediately to avoid letting tasks pile up.
Yeah.
And create that mental clutter. It's about being proactive and decisive.
Yeah.
Which can be, challenging in a fast-paced sales environment.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I think that's a valuable takeaway.
Yeah.
For any sales leader out there.
Absolutely.
It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of daily tasks, but stepping back and prioritizing those high-impact activities can make all the difference.
For sure.
Now, the third strategy the sales experts dive into is the power of SMART goals.
Yes.
And this is where it gets really interesting.
They go beyond the typical explanation of SMART goals.
Right.
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Mm-hmm. And they actually connect it to how our brains work.
So they bring up the reticular activating system.
Right.
Which, honestly, I'd never even heard of before.
Oh, yeah.
So what is that exactly, and how does it relate to goal setting?
It's fascinating. It's essentially a filter in our brains that helps us focus on what's important.
Okay.
Right. So when we set clear, specific goals, our brains actually start paying more attention to information and opportunities that align with those goals.
So it's almost like we're priming our brains for success by setting those SMART goals.
Exactly.
Right.
And this applies not just to individual salespeople, but to the entire team.
Yeah.
When everyone is aligned on clear objectives, it creates that sense of purpose and fuels collective motivation.
That makes perfect sense. It's like everyone's rowing in the same direction.
Right.
Working together towards a common goal.
Exactly.
Now, the fourth strategy the sales experts emphasize is streamlining the sales process.
Yes.
And they start by asking a thought-provoking question.
They ask, have you ever felt like your sales process is more of an obstacle course than a smooth journey?
Yeah.
And honestly, who hasn't, right?
Right.
It's so easy for those sales processes to become convoluted and inefficient over time.
Absolutely. You
Yeah.
get bogged down in unnecessary steps, approvals,
Right.
paperwork.
Right.
It can be a real productivity killer.
For sure.
So what do the sales experts suggest for streamlining that sales journey?
They advocate for regularly reviewing and refining your sales process.
Okay.
Identifying any bottlenecks
Yeah.
or redundancies,
Hmm.
and then making those adjustments.
So it's about making the process as smooth and efficient as possible, both for your sales team
Yes.
and for your customers.
Right.
Because after all, nobody wants to jump through hoops.
Exactly. A streamlined process not only saves time, but also enhances that customer experience,
Right.
which can lead to, increased customer satisfaction
Yeah.
and loyalty.
That's a critical point.
Yeah.
Happy customers are more likely to become repeat customers.
For sure.
And referrals are gold in the sales world.
Oh, yeah.
So streamlining that process really is a win-win.
Absolutely.
Now, the sales experts, the fifth strategy they talk about is investing in your sales force.
Yes.
Which brings us to a question for our listeners.
When was the last time you invested in your sales team's professional development?
Because the sales experts argue that continuous learning is crucial for sales success.
Yeah, they're right. The sales world is constantly changing. New technologies, customer expectations shift, competition heats up.
Yeah.
Your team really needs to stay ahead of the curve if they want to thrive.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond just product knowledge,
Yeah.
although that's certainly foundational. The sales experts highlight the importance of developing those critical skills like negotiation techniques, presentation skills, even public speaking.
Oh, yeah.
They also emphasize the need for ongoing training
Right.
on the latest sales technologies like those CRM systems
Mm-hmm.
and automation tools we discussed earlier.
Right. It's like giving someone a high-performance sports car, but not teaching them how to drive it. They might be able to get it moving, but they won't be able to unlock its full potential.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And it highlights the importance of really empowering your sales team with the right tools and the training to excel in their roles.
For sure.
So as we move into the second half of our deep dive, let's shift gears and delve into the data-driven side of sales productivity.
Welcome back. Before we jumped into investing in your sales force, we were in the middle of discussing the importance of using data to fuel sales success.
Yeah.
It's all about strategy number 6,
Okay.
utilizing sales metrics.
The sales experts make a powerful statement. What gets measured gets improved.
Oh,
Seems like common sense.
right?
But I think a lot of sales teams get caught up in the day-to-day and kind of neglect to track those key performance indicators.
You're absolutely right. They might be busy, but are they being effective?
Yeah.
Metrics provide that crucial visibility into what's working, what's not, and where there's room for improvement. It's like having a dashboard
Right.
for your sales performance, giving you those real-time insights.
The sales experts provide some solid examples of relevant KPIs to track, like the call-to-close ratio,
Right.
which tells you how efficiently your team is converting those leads into actual customers.
Another important metric they highlight is customer acquisition cost.
Yeah.
Understanding how much you're spending to acquire each new customer is essential for making informed decisions about your marketing and sales strategies.
And of course, they mentioned average deal size,
Right.
which gives you insights into the value of your deals and whether you're targeting the right customer segments.
Yeah.
It's about aligning your efforts with those high-value opportunities.
But the sales experts caution against, falling into the trap of data overload.
Right.
It's not just about tracking numbers for the sake of it. It's about using those metrics strategically to drive measurable performance improvements.
I love the analogy they use.
What is that?
It's like being a detective, using those clues to solve a case.
Right.
Except in this case, the case is how to boost your sales productivity.
Exactly. Analyze the data, identify those trends, and then use those insights to inform your sales strategies and make those necessary adjustments.
Yeah,
It's about turning data into action.
absolutely. Now let's move on to the final strategy, which the sales experts argue is the foundation of a high-performing sales culture,
Right.
fostering a culture of feedback.
Yes.
And this is where leadership really comes into play.
They emphasize that feedback is essential for growth and development,
Yeah.
both for individuals and for the team as a whole.
Okay.
It's about creating an environment where feedback is valued,
Right.
not feared.
The sales experts use a great metaphor here.
Yeah.
Think of feedback as a compass guiding your team toward continuous improvement.
Love that.
And they highlight the importance of not just focusing on areas for improvement, but also celebrating those wins.
Absolutely. Recognizing and acknowledging those successes, both big and small, is crucial for boosting morale and creating that positive, supportive work environment.
They also suggest analyzing losses, but not in a way that dwells on the negative.
Right.
It's about understanding what went wrong, what lessons can be learned, and how to improve those strategies moving forward.
One of the most effective ways to do this, according to the sales experts, is to record and share those successful sales calls.
Oh, interesting.
It allows your team to learn from each other's successes and see those real-world examples of what works.
Such a great idea.
Yeah, it creates that culture of learning and best practice sharing, which can be incredibly powerful for elevating the entire team's performance.
And when it comes to delivering feedback, the sales experts stress that it should always be constructive and focused on helping individuals grow and develop their skills.
Absolutely. It's not about, criticizing or tearing someone down.
Right.
It's about providing that specific actionable feedback that helps them improve. And I think it's important to remember that feedback is a two-way street. Encourage your team to share their feedback with you as well.
Yeah.
This creates that culture of open communication and transparency where everyone feels heard and valued.
So there you have it.
There you go.
The 7 powerful strategies outlined by the sales experts to boost sales productivity.
That's right.
But as we wrap up our deep dive, I think it's important to emphasize that this isn't a one-and-done exercise.
It's an ongoing journey, a continuous process of evaluating, refining, and adapting your approach to optimize those sales efforts.
And the sales experts remind us that your sales team is your most valuable asset.
For sure.
Invest in their development.
Absolutely.
Empower them with the right tools and training, and create that culture where they can thrive.
Absolutely. When you create an environment where your sales team feels supported, motivated, and equipped to succeed, the results speak for themselves.
Now, before we move into our closing thoughts, I'd like to hear from you. Which of these 7 strategies resonated with you the most?
Yeah.
What's one key takeaway that you're going to implement with your sales team?
Welcome back. We have explored the sales experts' 7 strategies for boosting sales productivity. Now let's talk about practical application.
Right. It's one thing to understand the concepts, but actually putting them into practice.
Right.
That's where the rubber meets the road.
That's right. Yeah. The sales experts advocate for this, this holistic approach.
Okay.
Don't just cherry pick 1 or 2 strategies.
Right.
Look at your whole sales operation as an interconnected system.
So consider your technology, your sales processes, your team's skills, how you're using data, and your feedback mechanisms.
Right.
All these pieces kind of work together.
Exactly. Conduct a thorough assessment of your current state. Where are your strengths? Where are the gaps? Then use those 7 strategies as a roadmap for improvement.
For example, if your CRM system isn't being fully utilized, you might invest in additional training for your team.
Right.
Or explore a platform that better aligns with your needs.
Or if you discover bottlenecks in your sales process, streamlining those steps or even automating certain tasks could, significantly boost efficiency.
The sales experts emphasize that the human element is critical here.
Right.
Investing in your sales team's development is non-negotiable.
Provide them with the training, the resources, and the support they need to excel. Create a culture of continuous learning.
Yeah.
Where feedback and recognition are valued.
It's about empowering your sales team to become true experts in their field. Boosting sales productivity is an ongoing process that requires, constant evaluation, refinement, adaptation.
It does. The sales landscape is dynamic, and your approach needs to be agile.
The sales experts encourage a spirit of curiosity and experimentation.
Absolutely.
Don't be afraid to try new things, to learn from both successes and setbacks.
Right, exactly. And remember to celebrate those wins along the way. Recognizing those achievements, big or small, fuels motivation and fosters a positive team culture.
Now, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a final thought from the sales experts.
Okay.
They say that the most successful sales teams share a common trait, a growth mindset.
It's that unwavering belief that skills can be developed.
Yeah.
That challenges are opportunities for growth, and that setbacks are simply stepping stones to success.
So cultivate that growth mindset within your sales team. Encourage them to embrace challenges, to continuously learn, and to strive for excellence.
Yeah.
Because boosting sales productivity isn't just about hitting those numbers.
No.
It's about creating a more engaged, a more fulfilled, and a more successful sales force.
That's what it's all about.
And that ultimately is the key to sustainable sales success.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So this concludes our deep dive into the sales experts' strategies for boosting sales productivity. We hope these insights have been valuable.
Absolutely. Remember, sales success is within your grasp. Take action, apply what you've learned, and watch your sales team soar to new heights.